start the recording.
All righty.
Recording in progress.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's call this meeting of the McLennan County Rural Transit District Board of Directors together. Today is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. Cody, is there proof for posting?
Yes, sir. We posted the agenda on Monday, February 19th at 1:30 p.m.
All right, thank you. And let's see, do we have anybody on video conference? We've got Mike Dixon on, and Cody is upstairs. Dustin will be in and out. He's working on a couple of projects right now. So at this time, under items B is consideration or action on the, well, first of all, where's that roster sheet, sign-in sheet? I think I ought to read those off on who's present just for the recording purposes. All right. So I'm going to call a roll call to who I see is here. And so Judge Scott Felton, I'm present. Commissioner Will Jones.
Here.
Mayor Dylan Meek.
Here.
We have Rick Wegworth.
Here.
We have Stan Duchman.
Here.
Stephen. And we have Trevor Bays here. All right, and then those not present at this time are Councilman Jim Holmes, who should be here in a minute, Katrina George, and Nisi Payne. And then guests that are here today, non-voting members, are Serena and Jana. Welcome. All right. In your packet, you should have received the minutes from the prior meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve those minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, motion made second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. All right, operations report. This is operations report on ridership programs, revenues, expenses, equipment, marketing plans, and related matters. And let the record show that Councilman Jim Holmes is now present.
Let the record also show this is the first time that he was late and I was on time.
Trying to get into the mail.
Yeah, that's it. Welcome. You're doing great. You're leaving on those shoes perfectly.
Yeah, we won't even know he's gone. Okay.
All right, good afternoon, board. And I believe he'll do the slides on the screen. Yes, sir. The first slide just includes the agenda as to what we'll be covering with the ridership reports. We will again do we'll review the rural and commuter ridership statistics from October to January. I broke them out individually because I know that's kind of how you guys like it presented. I also did the total rural ridership fiscal year comparison, ridership comparison by the rural demand response through the same time period, rural commuter, and then the ridership for the rural commuter for the date range up to date. And so next slide, please. So I do want you all to see that the first slide, the first box under fiscal year 24, that just outlines where we're at each month per category for ridership. We are trending upwards. We're continuing to kind of reevaluate our routes and how we're performing so that we can make sure that the resources in the areas that they need to be used in. Our Medicaid has gone down, but that's due to the contractor. They've had a loss in trips. This is a year where both providers, Safe Ride and Motive Care, are redoing some of their contracts, and so that's contingent on how many people are eligible under the Medicaid, Medicare services. And then we spoke with our contract manager, and those trips should be coming back up. And so this is across the state. It's not just specific to our program. So we need Medicaid. It's a great local match for us, and so we're in constant contact with the contractor. The 5310 trips are doing well. December is just a time of the year where we have lower ridership, but you guys can see that we're trending up each month, and so we're going to continue to do our due diligence to get the story out so that people understand what we do and that we can come to where they're at. Next slide, please. And this is a comparison, so everybody's clear. It's fiscal year 21, 22, 23, and 24, and the columns show the exact ridership through that exact time frame through each year. So that way you can see where, you know, in 21, we were running about, I'm blind too. We were running around 50, 52, and you can see during that same time period in 2024, we're at 5381. So we are trending back since COVID. We're just really hitting the community, doing a lot of research, and we'll kind of talk about how we're reevaluating what we're still currently doing in a few moments. Next slide, please. And again, I just like to show you guys each year where we're at each month, so you can kind of see where we trend up and when we trend down. And pre-COVID, we were doing a lot better, but we are growing. The green line is where we're at currently. And so you can see that just based off of work, getting staffing back up to speed, we're able to kind of increase that. It's baby steps, but really being out in the community is really helping us get that interest back up, understand that we are there, and we've identified a lot of service gaps where people didn't even realize McLennan County Road Transit District would help out. So that's what's helping us get our numbers back up. And it's just certain times of the year, December, you have less ridership, people are not traveling as much, but then we pick back up kind of like around school trends. So just want you guys to understand the variances. Next slide, please. This is the commuter route, and so I provided each of you a postcard because we are right now going to do a mass mail out within Crawford and McGregor. We want to see if where we're proposing to put service is what those communities need. A commuter route, we can flex it, we can adjust it, and we can put the resources where they're necessary. And we don't want to just run service to get miles and not gain that ridership. So it's essential that we have the public engagement process in order to identify if this is what this community wants. It's more cost effective for us to run a commuter service than continue to run a demand response per trip service. And so we're looking to have this mass mail out to this area. I can provide you all some analytics with regards to, they'll use the QR code through the mail out. It's about 5 questions. It's active now if you guys want to participate or pass some of these out to individuals that you work with. We really want that feedback so that we can put the services where they're needed, and we're not just out there providing dry runs. We're actually listening to what the community needs, and we're responding appropriately. And again, I can provide those analytics as to how many people responded, what the general feedback was with regards to the route that we've currently designed, and if we need to tweak it in any way, we'll definitely do that before we make those adjustments. So that's just to kind of address where our commuter service was historically. As you can look, you see this year we're purple, pre-COVID was red, and we need to get those numbers back where they were. So that's why we're reassessing this. Every one of you realizes that we were asked to pull out of Falls County, which was a high ridership area for Marlin. And so we just want to reassess the areas that we do provide service in and build that knowledge of the program. So that's the purpose behind our commuter survey.
What would be the times? Would this run like a 8-hour loop, 10-hour loop? How many?
So that's one of the survey questions. We're trying to see if there are peak times that we need to provide this service. Are people needing us early in the morning, and then they feed into Waco, they use the fixed route services, and then they want to be able to get back to their area later in the day. Our current commuter route, we run early in the morning. We have a midday cycle where we take people back home and we bring people back into Waco, and then we have an evening cycle where we took those individuals that came midday, we take them back home about 5:15 in the evening. And so if they want something more reflective of, something like that, then we want to respond accordingly. But we probably we wouldn't run more like a fixed route service where it's consistent through that time, because it's going to be a lot of deadhead and a lot of unutilized time. So our hope is that through the feedback of the survey, that people can tell us what we need, what they need, and we'll be in a position to tweak it, but at least we know we're available based off of that request. Because I can, in theory, say this is what they want, but in actuality, if you're a student trying to get to Waco, because you may be attending TSTC, you may be attending MCC, we need to factor that in so they have a dependable form of transportation. And we're really talking with the high schools and the rural communities so that we can make sure those students who do want those opportunities recognize that McLennan County Rural Transit District can get you here safely, and we provide that Monday through Saturday. So we're really working with the high schools to get that message out as well.
Great. Do you have a breakdown of the purpose of those rides? In other words, how much is workforce, how much is education, how much is medical? Are those, I was looking at a report this morning on, at Hot Cog meeting, which doesn't include McLennan County, but it had those rides broke out for the purpose.
I can do trip purpose for you,
Yeah, that
Judge,
would
and
be
provide
good.
that as we move forward, and I can provide it for the historical data as well.
Okay.
But we can pull it off trip purpose, but, we don't prioritize any trip,
Right.
So, but I can provide trip purpose for you.
Yeah, just looking at, what the trends are, and I think the highest, might have been either work or medical. And I combined dialysis with other medical, visits and those kind of things. And I think they might have been 32%, and 25 or 26 was work related, and then there was everything else broke down to real small.
Yes, sir.
Percentage for all, parole and everything, in that, so,
Yes, sir. I'll provide that to you.
okay. Other thing I noticed, we still have C3 on there, as far as, on the list.
We're still going out to McGregor. We provide some services out there through the demand side,
but not C3 though.
not C3 particular,
Yeah.
no, sir, it's McGregor. So I'll make sure we get that adjusted.
Yeah, and I don't know, I've heard that, the school may be, taking over that.
We're in talks with the school district now, trading that building for the old junior high.
Yeah,
And,
it'd be great. I think it would be.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes. We got a bond coming up
Yeah, okay.
in May.
I'll get that corrected, but we're providing some services to McGregor specifically, and so I can put them under the category, or I can just leave them under the general ridership. I can send an email and you can let me know your preference.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, sir.
And, the only other thing, there's been some discussion about, all of McLennan County's transit, from, Waco Transit to what we're doing in rural transit and all that, and kind of, because things are moving around. Workforce training is now, once the facility's built, it's gonna be a focus out in the industrial area that, which means it's really important to get transportation from the folks that need the jobs to where the jobs are, that y'all do a great job in making that connection. But looking to see what the trends are, and also still the needs that are in, that are they're not the yellow bus, it's another way to get to school or get from school to work. With the expansion of workforce training with that young generation for the, that have gone through or in the dual credit programs, for them to, a lot of them are immediately getting signed on with part-time jobs, and so I just want to be sure that,
Yeah, that's not a hurdle to get out there, that we can provide that transportation.
yeah, and so it's really all together, what we're doing across the county. And the other hot cog counties that no longer participate, and just kind of wondering, how they play in all that as well. I know they affect us, like Falls Counties, like you're saying, but anyhow, just, y'all know, we're still learning, and so maybe spending some effort over the next 6 months or so to try to figure out what questions do we want to ask, we want to get the answers to, and then start the process of doing that. So working with the professionals. And
And
I know
ju-
y'all look at that all the time, and you're making efforts like this to try to, expand services and those things, but just trying to figure out how the rest of us can help in that too.
And after we do our rounds of the high school visits, I can definitely come back and let you all know what was communicated to us
Great.
as a greater need. Because we feel like that's an untapped population, those students that are graduating, that are trying to get to Waco, that don't have transportation options.
Yeah.
And when we let them know we are available, it is demand-based, it's not a set schedule. So they get all worried about, I'm gonna miss class, if they wanna come in at 5 in the morning and get to campus and get set up. So the counselors are really loving that approach with giving them the information proactively instead of they enroll and they think they don't have options. So the school counselors have been really helpful with us getting the message out.
Good, that's a good deal.
Yes, sir.
Any questions on that? All right. Okay. No questions, we'll move to the financial report. Is that right, that Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to put it up there or everybody got a copy. There's no like real significant finances to report. I don't know what it costs. We're right on schedule. This is through January as well. We're trending about where we were last year in regards to grant funds. Our local match funds like Medicaid and advertising are, still coming in. There's nothing significant at this time for us to really report on, and we're making movement on some of our bus and bus facility grants that were awarded previously.
No,
I
we're
don't know
all.
if y'all had any questions.
And through the bus facility grants, we are looking at the ability to incorporate some battery electric buses through the rural system, but it's all based off of the performance where the charging stations are located throughout the I-35, but TxDOT is pushing for that. And so we try to have a unified fleet. And so but we don't want to invest too much if we can't get the return on the investment for the amount of distance that we travel. So we're working with TxDOT to kind of see what's best for McLennan County, because we don't want to purchase a vehicle. And there's a lot of industry issues with components being available. People are purchasing battery electric buses, buying fleets of 15 to 20 buses, and they can't run their fleets. So we really are. We were awarded some money through Waco. We also have some money through McLennan that we have the option, but it's not that we don't want to move forward, but we have to be able to provide that service delivery while staying aligned with, sustainability planning. But if I buy 15 buses and 14 of them are down, I can't provide my core service, which is to move people. And so we're being very strategic about that, but TxDOT is working with us
So
on.
you don't want to be a pioneer?
I want to be able to provide service, Judge.
You know how to identify the pioneers? They're the ones with the arrows in their back.
No, well,
And so, yeah, early adoption may not be the best approach until it sees some other operations work and
yeah.
how, how it all,
But I was on a call with the hydrogen fuel cell group Tuesday, because they are entertaining looking at Waco or Robinson as part of the hydrogen pyramid. And so I'll be visiting with the city of Waco tomorrow about our approach, because I've always been a proponent for hydrogen fuel cell buses because they have a 1-to-1 ratio to a diesel bus. But you got to try to be strategic and balance the needs of your community and what they want versus being able to put out a quality product while still balancing. And so it's like, you just have to be strategic, and you have to communicate clearly why you may not be moving as fast, but that you are factoring it into what we're here to do, which is to make sure we can move people in a seamless manner. So I don't want you to think we're not thinking about it for McLennan County, but it's truly baby steps. But if we get selected to be in that hydrogen fuel cell triangle, if Waco is selected, that would be ideal for us with our service delivery, clean buses, That fuel costs will go down. We don't have to manage the station because it would be for the community as well, you know, truckers. And so my hope is that we can be very competitive in that, which would really help us move our sustainability plan and be aligned with what the city wants and what we need for, you know, just our planet. So just know.
Okay.
At the bottom of the financial statements, you have kind of a list of the grants. And I was just looking at the expiration dates on those, and there's a couple of them coming up this month, next month. Are we at risk of losing those, or those extended, or what?
We are in the process of amending them to extend, but like she was saying, we're looking into what exactly, because those two that are expiring, it's like, those are vehicle ones, so for us to have a game plan to amend, we kind of have to have an idea what we're gonna do with it, so we have a better idea on time.
But so you know, the one for February of 2024, we spent the majority of that grant money. We have drawn down some of that grant money. We had some miscellaneous vehicle items. So she has that total amount there, that has been expensed down there. I want to say maybe.
40,000 of it's left.
Down from 450,000.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
it was equipment, like a specialty computer and some things like that, that's remaining.
That's some miscellaneous items, but we did use that core part and purchase the vehicle. Yes, sir.
Other questions?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next, under items E, is approvals and ratifications, if any, for grant applications, certification, other grant-related matters and expenditures.
Title VI plan. So I provided the Title VI plan. I mean, I know Councilman Holmes loves to read big material at night. I didn't know if anybody else wanted. I didn't know if anybody just want to spend some time. I'm going to give you an overview of what I changed, because basically the plan remains the same as long as we're under, as long as we work within the CFO or the Code of Federal Regulations. It's going to be a 3-year plan, so I updated the date range. I did contact Cody on some items that we needed updated on the website, so that I make sure when I submit it to TxDOT and they click the links, it actually goes to what we say it will. So we found a couple of things. I'm already in the works with Cody on that. I updated our, I'm gonna have to have the Title VI complaint form in Spanish uploaded to the website, which I'm already working on. I updated the 4-factor analysis with the 2020 census data to show that, you know, our Hispanic population is growing. And so we always translate our materials in Spanish, so we've met that expectation. I had to include the list of the public outreach that we've done since the last plan was approved. And I updated a statement that indicated that we've determined that we met our LEP population in our area, and it's not underserved because we work with the Hispanic Chamber. We make sure that we have Hispanic, we have translators that work with us at Waco Transit so we can meet their needs. And so we monitor that, and we make sure that as the American Community Survey statistics change, we adjust our plans accordingly. Those were the updates to the plan. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
And I did provide it to TxDOT for them to review prior to submitting it for your approval. And so we should be good to go once you approve it. I'll attach the minutes and submit it so that we'll be compliant under our grants.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments on that? All right. If not, additional items for discussion and potential action. Anything else?
No, sir.
Anything else to come before the group? All right. Then it's 4:24. We stand adjourned.
Guys, appreciate y'all.
Oh, no, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Always.
Recording stopped.